All right, let's get right into it. We're going to look at a single, absolutely pivotal week in the life of a software project called Woodbury. And we're going to unpack how its team tackled a problem that honestly, every successful project eventually hits. It's kind of funny. Success can be its own worst enemy. Your project takes off, people are loving it, you're shipping features like crazy, but right under the surface, that very success starts building a whole new kind of problem. Just overwhelming, suffocating complexity. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? What do you do when a project gets so massive that no single person, not even the original architects, can keep the whole thing in their head anymore? How do you keep building without, everything falling apart? So let's meet our protagonist, Woodbury. This thing is a beast. It's a super powerful desktop automation platform. Think browser recording, an AI agent, even social media management, the whole shebang. And as you can see from this breakdown, this is not some simple little app. It's a full-blown ecosystem with a ton of moving parts. Okay, so this number, 14,640, what is that? That is the number of lines of code in one single file. Not the whole project, a file. The main file for the dashboard server, to be exact. If that doesn't scream we're growing too big too fast, I don't know what does. And get this, that one monster of a file was responsible for handling over 155 different API routes. Just think about that for a second. Everything from workflows to AI control, all tangled up in there. The complexity was just getting out of control. Something had to give. And it did. It all came to a head during one crucial week in March of 2026. The team made what they called the 5 big moves. And here's the most important part. They stopped just adding more features. They totally changed how they were building. Let's dig into a couple of these because they're really, really smart. So big move number 1 was all about reliability. See, their old browser automations were incredibly fragile. They were targeting these invisible code details, like CSS class names, that developers change all the time. It's like trying to find a book in a library where they constantly move the shelves. Their fix was brilliant. They started targeting what the user actually sees, using accessibility tags. It's like finding the book by its title, not its shelf number. The shelves can move all they want, but the title stays the same. And this quote from their own changelog just nails it. They decided to anchor playback to user-visible semantics instead of implementation details. It's such a simple concept, but it represents a huge philosophical change. By focusing on what the user experiences, their automations became dramatically more stable. Okay, on to the next challenge. This is one we've all seen before, right? You build this incredible, powerful tool, but only a few super experts actually know how to use it. So the question is, how do you unlock all that power for everybody else? Well, their answer was abstraction. They found a way to wrap up all that scary, complex automation logic, all the nodes and wires, and hide it behind a simple, friendly form. It's kind of like a car, right? An expert engineer builds the engine, but you and I just need a steering wheel and a couple of pedals to drive it. That's exactly what they did for their software. And this wasn't just some skin-deep UI trick. They actually went under the hood and added new metadata to their system. This let the person building the automation decide, okay, this is the important knob the user needs to turn, and this is the other setting they can adjust. They basically created a user mode for their most powerful features. This brings us to the real heart of this whole transformation. This quote, again from their own internal documents, says it all. The project shifted from feature accumulation towards stronger contracts. They weren't just adding more rooms to the house anymore. They were finally going back to pour a proper, solid foundation. So what on earth is a contract in the world of software? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's a formal, documented agreement between 2 different pieces of code. It sets the rules. It says, hey, if you want to talk to me, you must provide this information, and I promise to give you this kind of response. It's all about creating clarity and predictability. Here's a perfect concrete example. For their chat API, the contract is simple. You have to include a message. Things like history or session ID are optional. By defining this rule up front and enforcing it, they get rid of so much guesswork for developers and prevent a whole class of bugs from ever even being written. And they took this idea of contracts and ran with it. This was the basis for another big move, creating disciplined pipelines. Instead of just creating an automation in one big, messy step, they turned it into a formal assembly line. You design it, then you generate it, then you validate it, and finally, you verify it. Each step is a contract. You can't move to the next station on the line until the previous one is done perfectly. It just ensures quality from start to finish. So if you were to visualize that week, it would look just like this. The team came in on Monday completely focused on feature velocity, just shipping more stuff faster. But by Friday, the entire conversation had shifted to strategic stability. They consciously decided to trade some short-term speed for long-term health. So why does this story matter so much? Because it's not really about Woodbury. This is the journey that every successful project has to take, sooner or later. It's that critical, often painful moment when you have to stop thinking about just building a product and start thinking about building a sustainable platform. And really, that's the big takeaway here. Sometimes the most important feature you can build isn't a new button or some flashy animation. It's stability. It's clarity. It's a system that's designed not just to work today, but to be understood, trusted, and built upon for many years to come.